Asia. Japan issued tsunami warnings on Monday night after a powerful 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck off the country's northeastern coast, raising fears of waves as high as 3 meters along the Pacific shoreline. The Japan Meteorological Agency said the quake hit at around 11:15 p.m. local time, jolting wide areas of northern and eastern Japan. According to the national broadcaster NHK, the first tsunami waves were expected to reach port areas between Aomori and Iwate prefectures by 11:40 p.m. local time. Authorities warned residents in coastal regions to stay alert and moved to higher ground. The quake's epicenter, Japan's emergency services was closely monitoring the situation, with assessments ongoing to determine the possible damage along the coast. Now we move over to the United Nations has sharply criticized what it calls growing global apathy towards human suffering, as it launched its 2026 humanitarian aid appeal in Geneva. Humanitarian aid chief Tom Fletcher says the world is witnessing rising brutality, impunity, and disregard for international law, with conflicts showing horrific levels of violence. Facing major funding cuts, the UN has presented a streamlined plan seeking at least $23 billion to support 87 million people in crisis zones like Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan, Haiti, and Myanmar. The full target is $33 billion to reach 135 people, but the UN warns the goal may be difficult to meet due to reductions in foreign aid, including cuts by the United States. The UN estimates that 240 million people affected by war, disease and disasters and climate impacts urgently need assistance. Let's listen in to Tom Fletcher.
This is a time of brutality, impunity and indifference. This is a time when the rules are in retreat, when the scaffolding of coexistence is under sustained attack, when our survival antennae have been numbed by distraction and corroded by apathy, when we are putting more energy and money into finding new ways to kill each other, while dismantling the hard-won ways we've developed to protect ourselves from our worst instincts, when politicians boast of cutting aid.
The European Council President Antonio Costa has said while it is normal that the United States and the European Union do not share the same vision on many issues, the threat of interference in internal political life is not acceptable. Costa has stressed the vision of freedom of speech is different in the European Union and the United States. Costa also said that there cannot be freedom of speech without freedom of information, as there would be no freedom of speech if citizens and the freedom of information is sacrificed to defend techno-oligarchs in the United States. Let's listen in to what Costa had to say.
Ce qu'on ne peut pas accepter, c'est cette menace d'interférence dans la vie politique de l'Europe. Les États-Unis ne peuvent pas remplacer les citoyens européens pour choisir quels sont les bons partis et les mauvais partis. Les États-Unis ne peuvent pas remplacer l'Europe sur la vision qu'on a de la liberté d'expression.
Germany's Foreign Minister Johann Waepel is signalling cautious optimism after receiving what he calls a positive commitment from China on rare earth exports during his visit to Beijing. Waepel says Chinese officials assured him that they are taking a constructive approach to granting export licenses for key companies, a key issue as Europe struggles with its dependence on critical minerals. The trip comes as trade tensions with Brussels and Beijing escalate. Let's take a listen in to the German Foreign Minister.
China hat angeboten, dass es Generallizenzen geben kann für europäische, für deutsche Unternehmen und hat uns ermutigt, unsere Unternehmen dazu anzuhalten, Anträge dafür jetzt zu stellen. China hat versichert, dass man sehr konstruktiv an die Prüfung dieser Anträge herangehen wird und dass es keinerlei Bestrebungen gibt, gerade deutsche Unternehmen hier mit größeren Problemen zu belasten. Das halte ich für eine gute Zusage und ermutige jetzt die deutsche Wirtschaft, hier jetzt konkret in die Beantragung hineinzugehen.
Okay, we move to Southeast Asia next, and Prime Minister Anutin Shivrinkal says that his country never wants to see violence after fresh clashes broke out in neighbouring Cambodia.